Hello, beautiful people. Time to relax and train your ears with English Listen Easy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jack.
And I'm Emma. Jack, you look serious today.
Yeah, I got a message from a listener this morning.
What did it say?
They said they've been studying English for a year and they feel like they're making no progress at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're thinking about giving up.
That breaks my heart. I know exactly how they feel.
Me too. I've been there.
Really?
Oh yeah, there was a period where I studied for 6 months straight and felt like nothing was improving.
What did you do?
Honestly, I almost quit.
You almost quit?
Yeah, I was so frustrated that I actually cried.
Oh, Jack.
I know, it sounds dramatic, but I felt so stuck.
It's not dramatic at all. I cried too when I was learning.
Really?
Yeah, I remember one day I tried to have a conversation with someone and I couldn't say anything. My mind just went blank.
That's the worst feeling.
It is. And I went home and cried and thought, I'll never be good at English.
But obviously you didn't give up.
No, and neither did you.
Right. So today we want to talk to anyone who feels stuck because that feeling is so common.
And it's actually a normal part of learning.
Exactly. So listeners, if you're feeling frustrated right now, this episode is for you.
And before we continue, quick reminder, subscribe so you don't miss our next episodes. We'd love to have you back.
All right, Emma, let's start with the big question. Why do people feel like they're not making progress?
I think it's because progress isn't always visible.
What do you mean?
Like, at the beginning, you learn so much so fast. Every day you know new words, new phrases.
Yeah, beginner progress feels amazing.
Right, but then after a few months, the progress slows down.
And you can't see it anymore.
Exactly. You're still learning, but it's harder to measure.
Wait, what does measure mean?
Oh, measure means to see how much of something there is, like to check your progress or count it.
Ah, okay, so you can't measure your progress easily anymore.
Right. At the beginning, you go from knowing 0 words to knowing 100 words. That's easy to see.
But later, you go from knowing 1,000 words to 1,010 words.
And that feels like nothing, even though you're still learning.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, and I think that's why people feel stuck. They're comparing their current progress to their beginner progress.
And current progress feels slower.
Way slower. But it's not actually slower, it's just less obvious.
So the progress is still happening, you just can't see it.
Exactly. It's like watching a plant grow. You don't see it growing every day, but over time it gets bigger.
That's a perfect comparison.
Thanks. But Jack, even knowing this, it's still hard when you feel stuck, right?
Oh yeah, knowledge doesn't always help the feeling.
Right. So what can people actually do when they feel this way?
Good question. I think the first thing is to stop comparing yourself to others.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, when I was learning, I kept comparing myself to people who were better than me.
And how did that make you feel?
Terrible. I always felt like I was behind.
Me too. I had a friend who learned English in like 2 years, and I kept thinking, why is it taking me so long?
But everyone learns at a different speed.
Exactly. Your friend might have more time to study, or a different learning style, or just a different brain.
So comparing is pointless.
Completely pointless. You should only compare yourself to your past self.
I like that. So like, am I better than I was 6 months ago?
Exactly. That's the only comparison that matters.
And the answer is usually yes, even if it doesn't feel like it.
Right. Even small improvements count.
Okay, so stop comparing to others. What else?
I think people should change what they're doing.
Like try new methods?
Yeah, if you've been studying grammar for 6 months and feel stuck, maybe try watching movies instead.
Or if you've been reading books, try speaking practice.
Exactly. Sometimes your brain just needs something different to wake up.
That's true. I noticed that when I switched from textbooks to podcasts, I suddenly felt like I was learning again.
Same. I was stuck with grammar exercises, and then I started watching Friends, and everything clicked.
So variety is important.
Super important. Your brain gets bored doing the same thing over and over.
What about taking a break? Is that okay?
I think short breaks are fine, like a few days.
But not months?
Probably not months, because then you start forgetting things.
That makes sense.
But a few days off can actually help. Your brain absorbs information when you rest.
Really?
Yeah, it's called passive learning. Your brain keeps working on things even when you're not actively studying.
That's cool. So a short break isn't giving up, it's part of the process.
Exactly. Don't feel guilty about resting.
Good advice. Okay, what else can people do?
I think they should celebrate small wins.
Small wins?
Yeah, like noticing when you understand something you didn't understand before.
Oh, like when you watch a movie and catch a joke you missed last time.
Exactly. That's progress, even if it feels small.
I love that. So instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do now.
Right. Like maybe you can't have a full conversation yet, but you can order food at a restaurant.
Or maybe you can't write an essay, but you can send a text message.
Yes, those are wins. They count.
But Emma, what if someone really isn't making progress? Like, what if they're doing something wrong?
That's possible, but I think it's rare.
What do you mean?
Most of the time, people are making progress. They just can't see it because they're too close to it.
Like when you look in the mirror every day, you don't notice you're getting older.
Yeah, exactly. But if you compare a photo from 5 years ago, you can see the difference.
So people need to look back at where they started.
Yeah, like listen to a recording of yourself from 6 months ago, or reread an old essay.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It really helps. I did that once, and I was shocked at how much I'd improved.
I should try that.
You should. It's very motivating.
Okay, so we've talked about not comparing to others, trying new methods, taking short breaks, celebrating small wins, and looking back at old work.
That's a lot of good advice.
Yeah, but I want to add one more thing.
What?
Be patient with yourself.
Yes, that's so important.
Learning a language takes time. It's not a race.
And everyone has moments where they feel stuck.
Even people who are really good at English felt stuck at some point.
Exactly. It's part of the journey.
So if you're feeling stuck right now, that doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're at a difficult stage.
And you'll get through it.
You will. You just have to keep going.
Even if progress feels slow, it's still happening.
Yeah, your brain is working even when you can't feel it.
That's beautiful, Jack.
Thanks. I'm feeling poetic today.
I can tell. All right, let's do a quick recap for listeners.
Sure. So today we talked about what to do when you feel like you're not making progress.
First, understand that progress gets harder to measure as you advance. You're still learning, but it's less obvious.
Second, stop comparing yourself to other people. Only compare yourself to your past self.
Third, try new learning methods. If you're stuck with one approach, switch to something different.
Fourth, take short breaks if you need them. Rest is part of learning.
Fifth, celebrate small wins. Every bit of progress counts.
Sixth, look back at old work to see how far you've come.
And finally, be patient with yourself. Learning takes time.
Everyone feels stuck sometimes, and that's completely normal.
The important thing is to keep going.
Don't give up just because you can't see progress today.
Progress is happening even when you can't feel it.
Perfect recap.
Thanks. All right, before we finish, I have a bonus tip for listeners.
What is it?
If you're feeling really stuck, find one person to talk to, a teacher, a language partner, a friend.
Why?
Because they can see your progress better than you can. They'll tell you, hey, you're actually improving.
That's true. Other people notice things we don't notice about ourselves.
Exactly. So don't suffer alone. Talk to someone.
Great tip. Very practical.
Thanks. Okay, let's remind everyone about our word of the episode.
Right. The word was measure.
It means to check how much of something there is, or to see the size or amount of something.
Like, I can't measure my progress easily, or how do you measure success?
Perfect examples. It's a really useful word for talking about progress and improvement.
All right, everyone, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening.
If this episode helped you, please like it, share it, and subscribe. We really appreciate your support.
And we have a question for you, listeners. Have you ever felt stuck in your English learning? What did you do to get through it?
Share your experience in the comments. It might help someone else who's struggling right now.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone, and remember, you're making progress even when you can't see it.
Keep going.
Always keep going. Bye.